Doing wonderfully well today. All right, just starting everything up here. All right, scrolling through. Good morning, YS. Good morning, morning. Yeah, the market's looking a little bit weak. You do have some software firming up across the board. Names like Palantir, Oracle, Apple Oven, slightly green, Microsoft doing some lifting here. Let's just quickly run through the mag so we can get a sense of the market here. We do have the QQQ, which is slightly negative in the pre-market. SPY is green, and the Russell's leading the charge. SOXX is slightly down. You got some sell-side pressure hitting some of your leaders, your DRAM space, Micron, Western Digital are all seeing a little bit of sell-side pressure, SNDK. But let's look through the big 7-8 stocks here. Nvidia's got an interesting pattern here. I think that Nvidia has a strong chance at actually firming up. You had that head and shoulders, which are above the neckline, which means that you have to give it a little bit of a bullish bias here. Inside consolidation day yesterday, even though it was down, nothing wrong there. So Nvidia could get a dip by today. Google, absolutely nasty looking chart, getting a bit of a bounce. Did tap the weekly demand zone. Apple to Apple, which is slightly red, still a strong uptrend. Probably gets a dip by today, especially if the market remains weak. Ignore the theory, just suck it. Microsoft getting a bit of a bounce up 1%, your strongest mag on the session. Amazon, that one is getting a minor bounce, but still looks horrific. SpaceX is down. Meta, let's look at Meta real quick. Meta also back testing this high volume reversal zone. We'll see what happens there. I don't really like the trade setup. And Tesla. Tesla just looks garbage. I mean, there is a big support trend line on Tesla, which we tapped, but still looks like 278 on the leg. I'm just going to take my dog out, guys, and then I will jump back on here. All right, buddy. Let's go outside so you stop barking. I'll be right back, guys. Take the dog out. 3 minutes till the open, and we got the markets rolling here a little bit. I'm still looking at buying the dip on Rocket Labs, guys. RKLB $72 calls. I'm not going to take them right off the open. I think we may get a little bit of a dip today and then a rip. Um, but it does look like semis are slowly getting faded here. Good morning, Polly. Kevin's asking what stock's going to do today. I think it's going to get a, well, it looks like there's a head and shoulders building here on the hourly chart. So there's definitely going to be some weakness that we need to be watching for. Already making new pre-market lows. Oh shit, my browser logged me out. Let's get ready to rumble. Software stocks, IGV still holding positive near pre-market highs. That's looking decent. But usually when they have the software strong in the pre-market, they end up selling it down and rotating into semis. RKLB $72 calls are on watch for me. I'll let you know if I take a stab at it. Gamma Friday. Let's see it squeeze. I'd love if SPY made new lows today. I'd absolutely love that. Gotta bring up Intel. Where can I put that chart? The dollar. That's still holding steady. Let's bring up Intel there. Intel pretty much giving up all of its gains. It's flat right now. Interesting. Very interesting on INTC. All right, right off the hop, SPY getting a bid. This move in certain software names. ServiceNow up 4.6% and moving. IGV ripping, guys. I like it. Software is your strong sector with your semiconductors rolling. Intel rolling down here, guys. Intel could be a big fat short. Earnings were okay. Weren't bad in my opinion. Nice little beat across the board, but Intel looks like it wants that $97 gap fill. It's really, really struggling here. RKLB still struggling. Nice bounce on Oracle. Microsoft seeing a little bit of rejection off the 20-day moving average. S&P 500 is still in a very, very bearish spot here. Below these pivots, and we could still melt back down to 735. Oracle very strong. Healthcare strong. IWM is your leading indice for the time being. You got Google, Apple, Microsoft green, SpaceX down 2.5, Meta slightly red, Tesla just went red, Micron struggling, Nvidia down 0.77. Hmm. $72 calls. RKLB, $72 calls. High risk. Want to see Rocket Labs hold above the 7-day moving average. If it starts to lose that, then That might be a little bit vulnerable. SPY's still trying to get a bit of a bounce. Software coming in slightly. Nice big bid on your semiconductors. Crude oil is getting a small pop here. SOXX trying to push. Micron still struggling. Nice push on SPY. Possible inverse head and shoulders here on SPY 10-minute chart, guys. If this breaks out and holds, we have a little bit more upside from here. It's a very wonky looking one, but it's there. We're looking at a 742 tap on SPY. Big strong move on Apple. Fuck, this Rocket Labs better hold that 7-day moving average. I'm watching on the daily chart. Still trying to hold above it, but pretty weak. Oracle still up 1.76. Monday, 5.9. Still lots of strength in software. Some of them have given back some of the gains, but overall, software still holding steady. ServiceNow, CRM, GoDaddy, they're all pushing here. Your semiconductors still remain weak. Micron still down 2.5%, but it's trying to bounce off the lows. S&P 500 still trying to hold steady. Crude oil is down 1.6, but trying to push up off the lows. You got Bitcoin down 1.23. Gold is flat. Silver up 0.5%. Bitcoin and crypto are really struggling today. S&P 500, nice little push. Microsoft getting a nice push again. That'll help IGV. Rocket Lab's still struggling. SPY's getting a nice push here. Really strong move. SOX is still down 1%, lagging a little bit. SOXX really struggling to hold its pre-market low. Fuck you, Rocket Labs. Come on, Rocket Labs. Don't take my money. Really don't want it to fall below 68.33, this volume shelf, but it's looking heavy. Oracle starting to come in. Palantir looking a little bit fragile. SOX is still seeing some sell side pressure, now underneath its pre-market low and getting slightly heavier. We could have a really big sell in the semis again today if it starts to lose that impulse green candle low from Wednesday. That 9:30 buy program on SOX is. If we lose this area, guys, this impulse green candle from Wednesday, SOXX has this very large intraday topping formation, head and shoulders, and then you're into this gap window. So semis are still struggling. All right, my Rocket Labs are getting cooked. That's the fastest, what appears to be the fastest 400 bucks I'm going to lose. Still some hope. Still trying to defend its 7-day moving average. YS is saying flush it. Yeah, a lot of stocks are giving some of the gains back here. Qs are still negative. Nvidia down 0.5%. Google's getting a 1% bounce. Apple up 1.16. Microsoft up 1. Amazon up 0.3. SpaceX still down 2.64. Your weakest mag. Meta slightly green. Tesla's flat to negative. Micron down 3.83 and selling. SOX is starting to melt a little bit lower here. SPY's actually still holding quite well. Looking at IGV still near the highs. You got strength in service now. Look at that beast mode. CRM, big sticks. GoDaddy, boom. Clear rotation, guys. Monday, pushing. Big rotation into some of these software names. I like it. I like it. Microsoft could be a little bit of an interesting lotto long. It is kind of lagging a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Microsoft try to test this prior day high 391, just with the strength that we are seeing in your software. All right, flipping back to Rocket Labs, it backtested the 7-day moving average at 6830-ish. It even undercut that. Now it's getting a small bounce. What else we got going? I am seeing Oracle starting to give back some of its gains. Qs are still negative. SPY's green. IWM's green. Gold is starting to firm up a little bit. Silver. Intel down 2%. Under 100 bucks. Nasty price action for INTC. Let's take a peek at that. Intel going for that gap fill. Very, very close. Considering the sell side pressure in your SOXX, semis are S&P is still trying to hold steady here. Interesting. Very cool. Big spot here for Nvidia, testing opening range low 206 and 3/4. Also trying to hold that 7-day moving average. So big spot here for Nvidia. I would still favor a dip buy off of this range for Nvidia. If it loses a 7-day, then you could look for a big sell program on Nvidia, about a $3 to $4 sell program down to this gap. So 207, critical level for Nvidia. 207. Crazy. SOXX also sitting right on its 7-day moving average. 7-day moving average is bearing down, but we are trading still above it. The US Dixie is slowly curling down slightly. That should help the markets. Nice little bounce on Rocket Labs. It is trying to firm up slightly. I'm still in the $72 calls. Come on, give me a little bit of a relief bounce. Go green. Still struggling. Intel, pretty much making new lows on the session. Come into that major gap fill. Micron still selling off pretty sharply here. Oracle rolled over, went negative. Palantir's flat. So not all software is participating in this move today. It's not all rosy out there. SOXX is losing that Wednesday high volume reversal zone. It's an aggressive long to play the liquidity sweep on SOX. This is an aggressive area. We are about to lose it. They're sweeping a major demand spot. Intel coming into its first gap around that 97 area. QQQ starting to see more sell side pressure. Micro now down over 4.4. Make QQQ minus 3%. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't had a big 2 to 3% down day in a while, right? Well, we almost had one yesterday on the Qs, 1.9% down. It was a pretty big sell yesterday. So they're doing a little bit of a liquidity sweep, guys, through that area. So you can see traders are trying to buy a slight little dip here on SOXX. This is where a lot of traders were piling on the short side of this head and shoulders. I still feel like they might give it a little bit of an uptick, and then if they decide to take it down a little bit, in an hour or so. But I'm not really looking to buy the dip on SOX or SPY. Oracle just gave it up the goods. AppLovin went negative. Palantir struggling to hold green here. My Rocket Lab calls are cooked. Fucking gnarly. Intel down almost 3%, Micron down 4.8, Tesla down half, Meta down 0.3, SpaceX down 3.3, Amazon flat to negative, Microsoft still up 0.75%. Apple is your strongest mag on the session, up 1.26. Worst part about yesterday's down day is it was up for 2 days before that, 2% pre-market. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, so still across the landscape, majority of sectors are green. You got materials green, communications green, financials are flat to negative, energy green, industrials up 0.5% strong. XLK is your weak spot, down 0.57%. So technology, QQQ, semis are weighing the market down. Staples up 0.5%, real estate up 1.69, that's booming. Utilities are up 0.3, healthcare up 0.65, consumer discretionary up 0.3. So majority of sectors are green, guys. You got 1, 2 sectors red. So if the semis and tech start to firm up, we could have a big push on the top side of SPY here. 740 to me is still the big level for SPY. If it can't get above 740 today, or I would say if it can't get above 740 in the next, say, 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours, we're probably going to get slapped right back down. So there's your liquidity sweep bounce on SOX. So all the late short people chasing this price action like it's going to flush into the gap are going to get cooked off of this bounce. But I wouldn't mind reshorting SOX if it retests its pre-market low zone. Look at the bounce in semis and the selling in SPY. Crazy. Microsoft loses all gains, now filling its gap. IGV is starting to come in. So software is starting to give up some of the gains. Names like Palantir, Oracle, struggling. Still got strength in service now at 3.7. GoDaddy still strong. CRM still strong. IGV still at 0.8. But definitely a little bit of selling. I wonder if I should take some QQQ nasty. Wow. Fucking Microsoft is dog shit. Swear, every time software gaps up, it never holds. It always gets sold off of gap ups. Apple still ripping. Google, nice bounce. Semi's right back down to the lows. My Rocket Labs are cooked. Fuck you, Rocket Labs. That's okay. I still like this stock. All right, so big divergence between SPY and Qs. SPY trying to push while Qs looking heavy from the stocks trade. What is the big zero DTE play of the day? Forget about IGV until next cycle? Yeah. No, there's still a lot of quality software names out there that I like that I'm still going to be looking to continue. Like this 5.9, I think that one's still makes a lot of sense. You know, I still like CRM. I still like ServiceNow. They're having good days. I mean, look at financials, see what they're doing today. Yeah, they're trying to push back higher here. I wonder if JP Morgan's trying to break out to the top side. Bank of America looking strong. What about SoFi as a long today? Maybe SoFi is a good dip buy. I'll take a SoFi lotto. Let me see what these cons are trading at. All right, I'm going to take a SoFi $17 call. Let me pull up the chain here. Yeah, SoFi $17 call at 4 cents. That's a pretty decent lotto. Let me just see. What do I need? A 2.5% move? The trend is completely wonky here. Sox getting destroyed while SPY pushing. Still seeing semis heavy. SPY's acting very well here, trying to get above that 740 zone. I did go SPY. Yeah, the market's very weird here. I went long SoFi, $17 call. Still holding Rocket Labs. Those Rocket Labs are probably down and cooked, but you never know with the Friday. Things could still firm up. The crazy thing about it is you still have the majority of the market bullish today. The majority of sectors are green. Yields are down. Oil's down. It's a Friday. They love to crush the VIX. Obviously, there's semiconductor sell side pressure, but SPY's trying to shrug off the sell side pressure here. We'll see. Good morning, Supreme Leader. Semis are still looking pretty heavy here. Micron still down over 4. AMD, Intel down over 2. Apple, Google. Google's ripping up 1.5% now, 1.6 and pushing. Mm, that's a nasty rejection on SPY right there. That's a nasty QQQ drop, tech drop, semi drop. Lots of software starting to give up some of those gains. IGB is still holding steady. SPY is still trying to hold those opening range low levels. Pre-market low is a big level here for SPY. You still have a very weird SPY pattern here. Inverted head and shoulders has broken out, which gives us a move to 742. But look at this semi selling, gnarly. That is heavy. Let's see the downside of that pattern. So the head and shoulders break takes us pretty much into that gap fill down here on 524 on SOX. All right, guys, even with that sell side pressure, all sectors are green except for XLK. It's really only tech selling. SPY's still holding quite well. Every sector is green except for XLK, down 1%. Materials still green, communications green, financials flat to green, energy up 0.71, industrials up 0.37, staples up 0.48, real estate up 1.89, utilities up 0.3, healthcare up 0.8, XLY up 0.33. But hard for the market to resist the sell side pressure. This tech space, crude oil, what's that doing? 1.75% down still. Gnarly. Gnarly selling in your semis. So SOXX below its 7-day moving average. This could get ugly for your semis. The day's not over, but losing that 7-day moving average on a Friday. Never a good confidence booster for the Bulls. SoFi getting cooked. Rocket Labs getting cooked. What do we have on the high volume list? Intel, Nokia, SkyQ, Tesla, wearable devices. What is this WLDS doing? Big move up for Wilds. It's looking squeezy. Service now, still trying to hold. Let's look at Ondas. That's pretty much death for Ondas. Man, this Cleveland Cliff stock moves sometimes off of earnings. Big moves. How is SMCI doing? Nasty rejection there. Market is starting to roll over here. SPY's starting to lose momentum. Wonder if Microsoft goes back to its highs of the day. Daily chart struggling though. Not really. Semis are just drilling here. Taking Microsoft Lotto as well. 390 calls on MSFT. Why is it saying this is the bottom today? So I'm buying the dip in a few names, expecting a potential retrace higher. Nice vicious sell in the morning, sets up a potential afternoon rally. The VIX is still green, 1.66. Watching for the VIX to get crushed. I am seeing the US dollar fading here. It's a bullish 15-minute candle on the VIX, but damn, VIX actually looks strong though. These semis need to do something quick. So technically SPY breaking opening range low here, not a good sign. Semis still just a little bit away from the gap. What are they, about 1.4% away from the gap fill? Still long SoFi and long Microsoft, but going against the trend. Intraday market updates. QQQ down another 0.9%. SPY just went negative. IWM is rolling over as well. SOX down 3.3%. Google still up 2%. Apple up 1.7%. Microsoft still slightly green. Amazon down 0.25%. SpaceX down 3.5%. Meta down 0.46%. Tesla down 1%. Micron down a whopping 5.85%. AMD down 3.4%. Intel down 4%. Nice little bid in the S&P 500. IGV, even with that vicious sell side pressure, is still holding some of its gap up. Man, Rocket Labs is getting hit today, down 5.5. Oracle down 2. Palantir still down. Nice push on 5.9. Ticker FIVN. That's strong on the session. ServiceNow still strong. GoDaddy still strong. CRM still up 2.68. So software still seeing a nice accumulation buy program. VIX is quietly getting somewhat sold into here. It's still up 1.23%, but at a critical breakout inflection point here. You do not want to see it close above the 1905 area on VIX. SOX is still pretty heavy. IGV starting to sell a little bit more now. That could be troublesome. Come on, Microsoft. Firm your ass back up. SPY, big spot. Even with the indices negative, there's still quite a bit of strength out there across some individual stocks. It's not a complete broad-based sell, which still gives me some optimism on a Friday that you could get a VIX Crush Friday, short covering, and reversal. Uranium, nuclear getting hit pretty hard today. Marvell down 5%. I wonder if that's a big dip buy this morning. We've caught some nice Marvell bottoms. I remember this Marvell trade. That was a 700% dip buy. Interesting. What about IONQ? These quantum are pretty oversold. Yeah, new lows in the daily trend, man. Quantum is just nasty. I hate these quantums. Nice bounce in software. IGV getting a little bit of a buy program with SPY. See if it can firm up a little bit more. We just got the new home sales guys coming out here. New home sales. Let me just refresh the tape. Forecast was 609,000 for new home sales. Come on, populate. Coming in at 628K. Interesting. So showing better than expected results for new home sales. Usually that would cause the US dollar to uptick slightly, but it actually is causing it to soften. And interest rates have softened quite a bit there. So that's why the market's got that little bit of a pop off of new home sales. The VIX quietly is getting rejected off that 1905 area. That's a good sign for the bulls, guys. The reversal could be alive and strong here. SPY's back to the green side. Semis are trying. Semis are still so weak. So, I mean, I don't really like the Qs dip buys, but across the rest of the market, when you have all of the other sectors in the market green. SPY is the indice to be trading today and buying. XLK is really weighing things down. So far, there's still a bearish tilt. Semis are still seeing sell side pressure. Take QQ back to 690. What are we at? 686 and then fall. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think there's a bit of a bounce due and then more sell side pressure, but I feel like the more if we see more sell side pressure, it's gonna be next week. I feel like they give us a little bit of reprieve and then sell us next week. But yeah, QQQ is just dog shit. Look at QQQ making lower lows and lower highs. SPY's still trying to hold, but it's always tough, right? They say QQQ leads the market higher and lower, and it's certainly leading the market lower as we speak. We've violated some key wedge patterns. I wouldn't be surprised for a 679.85 tap. QQQ could easily sell down there today. There's that previous gap going back to, what is that, beginning of May. Nice fib retrace around that 680 area. 678, 679 Pierce there. Hmm. VIX is still consolidating intraday. Big spot here for the VIX. So the VIX is struggling to close above 19 intraday. So to me, that's the level to watch, 19 on the VIX. If we can get a couple closing candles above that, this market's going to sell pretty hard. For now, though, we are underneath that. We got crude oil softening up. Small bounce on the Dixie. Intraday update, IWM down 0.3%, SPY's flat, QQQ down 0.8, NVIDIA down 0.7, Google still up 1%. Apple, your strongest mag on the session, up 1.86. Microsoft is flat to negative. Amazon down 0.5%. SpaceX still drilling down 3.45. Getting more attractive on a swing trading basis, but I would like to see it a little bit cheaper. Meta down 0.5%. Tesla down 1.47. Micron giving it up today down 5.67. AMD down 2.27. Intel down 4% after it was rocketing higher yesterday in the pre-market or in the after hours. Then it started to get faded and it's gotten faded pretty much all day. Small bounce in your semis starting to build out. ServiceNow still pushing. Good to see. That's up 4.6. GoDaddy, that's up 4.5. CRM still up 2.7. Microsoft back to the green ever so slightly. Financials are mixed, but Bank of America strong. JP Morgan trying to hold steady. BTC still under 64K, down 1.63%. But he's still trying to get back above that OR low. Semis bouncing nicely. Nice bounce in the S&P. Microsoft firming up. IGV is trying to bounce. Semi's getting a really big bounce. VIX is getting faded, guys. So look for more sell side pressure at the VIX. The VIX just went negative, so this should give the market a very bullish bias to try to move higher here. SPY still has that inverse head and shoulders trigger on the 10 and 15 minute that takes us to 742 and change. But believe it or not, SPY has the ability to actually retest 745. Obviously, it's going to need tech to bounce here. I'm still long Rocket Lab, SoFi, and Microsoft as some lottos. Microsoft is looking like the only one that could play out. SoFi still has a chance to get to 17 and then some. Rocket Labs is cooked for me, but SoFi and Microsoft are my longs that have a strong chance at still playing out. Nice continuation bid. In SPY's looking pretty decent again. It's your only indice that's green. IWM still down 0.2. Nice push on SoFi. Nice push on the S&P 500. Let's push on your SPY chart. Still seeing the S&P trying to break out through these lower levels. Software starting to get faded a little bit. So it looks like certain semiconductors are trying to get a bit of a bounce here. Probably not a bad idea to buy the dip in certain semis. Marvell looks good to me as an aggressive trade. SOX is getting a bid while IGV somewhat faded here. What did I pay? 37 cents. S&P 500 still trying to charge higher here, guys. See rejection on your SOXX again. Market's still seeing. It's really interesting. Semis and Qs and SPY are still seeing sell side pressure where the VIX is trying to make new lows on the session. It is negative. So that leads me to think that these indices could still bounce. You just need this tech selling to kind of take a bit of a breather. Majority of sectors are still green. Marvell down 6.2, IONQ down 3. IGV starting to give way. Marvell new lows coming into a major gap fill. Healthcare is still very strong today. That's up 1%. Yeah, if QQQ gets to 690, I'd look for a short for sure. The same thing with SPY. If SPY were to get to back up to the 745 area, definitely a interesting zone to start shorting again. That's back to the top of this wedge pattern. This wedge pattern did have a failed breakout. That VIX looks heavy though. I still think that they could buy this indice back up. VIX is starting to look a little bit weaker again. But same thing with semis. You got the VIX going down, you got semis going down. Tesla just looks like doo-doo. That's down 2%. Micron just heavy. AMD, Intel all heavy. SoFi getting hit now. New lower day for socks. There's a hole in my sock. Interesting. Even with these semis seeing this, SPY's holding steady. But the problem is if the broad market gives way, it won't be pretty. All right, we got crude oil also starting to lose a little bit of momentum here. Crude oil could be putting in potentially a little bit of a bear flag on the 10-15 hourly chart. Daily is still crazy strong though. Microsoft still trying to hold its opening range low levels, pre-market low area. IGV is still slightly green, although it's given up the majority of its gains. ServiceNow still pushing up 5.2. GoDaddy still pushing. CRM still looking strong. YS and QQ bottom should be around 685. Thank you. Call when it reaches 685. Yeah, I'm still liking SoFi $17 calls. I mean Microsoft 390s. I'm looking at Marvell off of this gap fill area. Marvell Lotto 207.50s. Right now they're at 17 cents, 15 cents ish. They're pretty cheap for a Friday. Microsoft getting a nice push. About to break out of the topside range here. Semis are getting a decent little dip by. Nice push. SPY back above pre-market low. VIX just making new lows down 2%. So we could be bottoming here. Nvidia trying to potentially go green. It's still down 0.23%. Google, Apple, Microsoft pushing. SPY's up 0.2. Russell's about to go green. QQQ still down 0.65%, but possibly also going to get a dip by here. Bitcoin's still looking heavy. Don't touch BTC. It's a snake. Yeah, the crypto's been nasty to trade. Crypto has been very nasty over the last, unless you've been short in the pops. Still seeing really good price action in MNDY Monday, 5.9, ServiceNow, CRM, GoDaddy, IGB still at 0.7%ish. Financials are still holding steady. Majority of the market's holding steady except for tech semis. Starbucks up 1.27. IB2 high to short. Yeah. AMD is still down a couple percent. Does anyone feel like there's going to be a taco on a Friday? I feel like Trump's been kind of quiet in the market lately for stocks. I feel like we're due for a big Trump pump. Crude oil is softening here a little bit more. Taco on Saturday. Yeah, they love to. Again, from me, I still think the market's going to push higher. I think a lot of stocks are going to get some bids very shortly here. I'm seeing oil selling pretty sharply. You got the VIX now down 2%. Yields are soft, so they are crushing the VIX here on a Friday. Usually that liquidity flows back into stocks. Market kind of just appears to be stuck in this range. VIX is still at the lows. Crude oil still looking a little bit soft and bearish. I did jump into some Marvel 20750s. Again, all my lottos are fairly small size compared to my portfolio, so just recognize that I'm not putting any real size in, but you know, if the trades hit, the trades hit. SPY still looking bullish. We still have that inverted head and shoulders that has triggered, which gives us this upside here. So looking at Marvell here, Marvell did hit a pretty big gap fill level and also backtesting this consolidation zone pivot. So that's one of the reasons why I'm taking Marvell also on the long side. So it should be a pretty decent level. SOX though, still pretty weak. SPY losing a bit of momentum now. This price action kind of sucks. SOX bear flagging, SPY trying to build a little bit of a bull flag. Which way we going? Which way we going? Nastiness in semi-land. New lows for Marvell. Microsoft trying to push up a little bit here. IGV also trying to hold its opening range low. Semis are still heavy as can be. QQQ almost down another 1% today. Nvidia still down half. Google got faded there. It's down point or still green up 0.4. Apple still your strongest. Microsoft up 0.3. Amazon down 0.75%. SpaceX almost down 4.5%. Meta down slightly. Tesla down 2.5%. Micron still heavy. AMD, Intel still looking heavy. Dude, stay away from these fucking semis. IWM still looking pretty heavy here. VIX's catch a little bit of a bid again. Ay, ay, ay. New lows. These socks are just nasty. Should have just stayed away. SPY's trickery right now. SPY's still trying to hold on to some bullish price action. We just need these fucking semis to firm up for any sort of bullishness to continue. IGV is still trying to hold its opening range low and push off of it. Microsoft looking a little bit better intraday. I mean, look at the inverse movements here in SOX and IGV. Hmm. Yeah, Apple is crazy strong today, up 2.5%, 2.4. Apple Dapple is a beast. Crazy. That was the big thou wow, 1000%er. If anyone bought Apple, slapped calls off the open, you are able to retire for the weekend. And that's the problem, right? When Apple usually does well, it means everything else is doing shite. Look at SpaceX down 5%. That thing is just getting day after day hammered into the basement. You have me muted until now. Well, that's not a bad idea. Some of the trades I've called out have been shite. I'm getting my ass handed to me on my calls. The only one that's firming up here is Microsoft, on Microsoft 390s. Everything else I'm getting toasted on. Why I saying I hold Tesla plus SpaceX shares? Good luck, good luck. Semis just getting bludgeoned. SPY just stuck while Qs are melting, down 1%. Nvidia is still outperforming in semiconductor land. Nvidia is actually trying to hold some bullishness here. So if these semis can firm up, if SOX can firm up, Nvidia is probably going to try to go for its 211, 212 gap here. Nvidia is not looking bad here. It's trying to hold, but this SOX is just drilling. Look at that, nasty. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Tesla down almost 3% now, getting pummeled with SpaceX. Elon Musk losing some net worth this weekend. Yeah, Elon can turn the table anytime for sure. That SpaceX prospectus is still pretty wild to me. After reading it, I mean, sheesh. That's why I need it cheaper. I need SpaceX under $100, personally speaking. SPY starting to get a little bit heavier here just due to this vicious sell side pressure in XLK and semis. We are losing some structure here on XLK. Yeah, it's always easier to hold shares for sure in those companies. No theta decay. You can sit on them for years and years and years and years and years. VIX is popping here, trying to go back to the green side. IGV is also struggling to get above that opening range low. Everything else is pretty much getting sold into here. Certain software names that are strong off the morning are getting sold into. Markets are starting to roll pretty heavy here. A nice little push up in the S&P 500. IGV starting to curl to the top side. Nice push up on SPY. SPY still looking a little bit decent here. Semis are still struggling a little bit here. Oracle trying to make a little bit of a push off the lows. SPY still holding that breakout pattern structure. Apple still strong. Microsoft trying to curl a little bit here. MSFT is back above its pre-market low and opening range low levels, so it should try to hold these areas. Nice push on Oracle. Nice push on SPY. Semis are also trying to push up slightly here. VIX is still down 1.5%. Marvell pushing up. Bottoming tail forming on SoFi. Oracle now trying to clear 118, pushing up here. SPY looking strong. Big bid in software. Market staging a nice little relief rally. The bounce could be big, guys. The bounce could be big. Nvidia is now green. We are pumping and jumping. Come on, pump it. Give us a nice squeeze on a Friday. VIX trying to make new lows here. Yep, VIX is making new lows, guys. This market could squeeze. SPY new high a day. Microsoft still trying to push higher. SPY looking pretty strong here, guys. IGV ripping. Oracle ripping. Semis are catching a big stick. Nice breakout pattern here on SPY. We'll see if it can hold this breakout. IGV looking strong. Microsoft trying to punch higher. Oracle moving. Palantir's now green, so you're still seeing some accumulation in software. Sold all your calls. We're possibly setting up a pretty big trend reversal here, guys. We could be looking on SPY to try to target that gap fill, at least prior day high. Oracle still looking strong off of the lows. Semis are still trying to fight. SPY going for pre-market high, so big spot here for SPY. Microsoft still trying to push. This is the top. Oh, wow, my mouse pad is going all crazy on me. SPY above 740 is a bullish recapture. 740 is a big level for SPY. IV is too high for puts. Thank you, IS. Go 1.4 for the 687 put. Is that on the Qs? 687, okay. Good to know. IGV is still looking pretty strong here. IGV is quietly grinding higher and higher, looking to retest its pre-market high level, which is about 30 cents, 25 cents higher-ish. Semis are still struggling. QQQ is still struggling. IWM still struggling. Hmm. Nice push up in Microsoft. Oil is getting hit here, guys. We might have a news candle coming. Nice little accumulation bid there in quite a few names. SPY, yeah, I think we have news. Yeah, nice push on SPY. Really strong move. I like it. Beautiful. This is what we want to see. Nice push back up. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think there's news, guys. Oil drilling. Oil drilling. Come on, pump my calls, baby. Pump it up. Give me something. Just give me something. Microsoft trying to firm up some more, acting well, very well. Come on, Oracle. Let's go, market. Pump it up. Let's go SoFi. Pump it up to 17. Give us the rest of the day a trend day. I'd be thankful. IGV busting through pre-market high. Looking strong. SPY still looking decent. Nice push up in the tape. IGV is pumping. Oracle, Microsoft ripping. SoFi firming up. Come on, S&P squeezing into that bull, that inverse head and shoulders target. Let's go, let's go, let's go. IGV, guys, it's ripping. Microsoft 390 calls might start, they're going to start to pay here. Oracle 120s are acting well for me. SoFi has a chance now to get into 17. Marvell is probably still cooked, but nice pop, guys. Nice pop. News or something. Big spike there. Nice push in the tape, guys. We are getting a strong pump. Let's get it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I like it. Squeeze. Oil dropping like a rock. Still dropping. Oh. So a little bit of a profit taking after that initial pump. So nothing wrong with SPY after that candle. It remains structurally bullish. The trend is intraday is leaning more bullish. Again, SPY is leading the way right now. IWM's back to the green side. You got a lot of mags starting to firm up here with that pump. Oil making new lows. VIX is getting slapped down, so dips are still being bought and accumulated. IGV still trying to bust through the high of day. Semis are getting a decent push. SoFi looking a little bit better. Nice continuation push. SPY looking for a new high a day. Oracle looking strong. Microsoft looking strong. IGV printing, breaking out here on IGV. New highs of the session coming up here. SoFi looking decent again. Come on. Just need these semis to give us a big squeeze. Can they do it? S&P 500 still remains pretty strong. Still looking at Oracle. Still in these Oracle 120s, SoFi 17s, Microsoft 390s, Marvell 20750s. I still remain long. Microsoft, I'm in profit. SoFi trying to get, yep, SoFi now I'm in profit. Oracle is acting well. Come on. Squeeze us into the gap. We are now entering SPY. Gap window. Gap fills 747 and a quarter. Squeeze it, baby. Squeeze it. I'd be careful with puts. You got VIX being crushed. IGV's breaking out of the top side. Oil looking like a nasty 30-minute bear flag that's could potentially go down to about 86.68, maybe 85.50, that gap. Software looking strong along with semis. You got QQQ putting in potentially a bullish reversal. Nvidia's now green. Google's green. Apple's strong. Microsoft's strong. Meta's green. We got a lot of buy side pressure hitting the tape. Obviously, you're fulfilled the little mini inverse head and shoulders upside target, but to me, it looks like a lot of these software trades have more upside intraday. So I'm just going to remain long. SoFi squeezing. She getting squeezy. Still obviously a little bit of a bearish undertone in your semis. So tech's lagging, but if we get semis firming up here, oof, this market could fly. We do have that London close coming up, 11:30. Usually get a little bit of sell side pressure into that time, but I don't know if we are. Microsoft pushing, Oracle pushing, IGV still going for that new high a day on the IGV. Semis are still approaching that opening range low, a little bit of a bearish retest. SoFi, new high a day. Come on, SoFi, get to 17 bucks. Push it. SPY, new high a day. Nice squeeze. SPY is squeezing hard. Oil new lows. So usually that provides sell side liquidity. So good to see that we didn't dip too much into that London period, which means that we could potentially see more upside from here. I still think there's more upside in software. It does look like IGV wants to take out that high of the day. I don't know if the double top's going to hold us in place. You got Microsoft grinding, Oracle trying to grind, Palantir from red to green. Semis are still a little bit weak. QQQ still down 0.3, but IWM and SPY are ripping off the lows, looking good. SoFi still trying to trend. Now you have semis trying to bounce a little bit. take a little bit of a lunch break here. It's Friday, so I'll probably end the stream here a bit early. Nevertheless, I still think the market has a chance at pushing even higher from here, but it's going to need semis and tech to do some firming up here. Oil is still weak, down 3.6. VIX is getting crushed, so I still think there's a chance that dips get bought, but they may chop us around here for a little bit more. Other than that, hopefully you guys made some money today, and we'll see what has in store for us over the weekend. Possibly more Trump tacos over the weekend as interest rates have hit some pretty crazy levels. All right, guys, we'll see everyone. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend. Take care, everybody. Cheers, cheers.